Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of my Night Elf Hunter Let's Play series and the Burning Crusade Anniversary Edition, where we are still in Teldrassil and will likely remain here for a little bit, where I just want to continue questing, exploring. We can take a look at our professions, where we can check our skills here with our leatherworking and skinning, and we progressed our cooking a decent amount, and our first aid just a tiny bit. We can pick up a third secondary skill with fishing. But first things first is I don't really have too big of a plan, but I do have a little bit of a goal where I want to get to level 10. But we have a really big quest here with the Relics Awakening, which is maybe the biggest quest in all of Teldrassil, and we also have another quest here with the Sleeping Druid that we can work on as well, which we can take a look at all of those, but I think I would rather focus on the other quests that we have around here first, where we even have a quest that will take us to Teldrassil that we can look at. Because my goal is to get to level 10, because I want to get the hunter pet. I almost called it a ranger pet. Lots of Givers 2 gameplay recently, but let's go down here, where there's this player here that we could maybe team up with. But we have this quest to kill 6 gnarl pine ambushers, which shouldn't be too big of a challenge for us. And then after that, we could see about doing these 2 quests down here, and then maybe heading over towards Teldrassil and get our first look at the Night Elf capital city. A capital city that is a bit less popular because it is in kind of an inconvenient spot in the world and features a lot less compared to cities like Stormwind, which tend to be more important and more populated as a result. I'm just wondering what that person's doing. It looks like they're maybe doing first aid or something. Creating some bandages. I didn't see the skill bar for that though, but I'm not sure when that's added into the game. If it was vanilla, like Rathlish King or something. 2 more ambushers, and we have a mini to choose from. We are running a little low on mana, which we can easily get back with some water. But within pretty much every single fight we do kind of enter a point where we start having to melee attack our enemies. But as we reach level 10, and as we get a pet by our side, we should be able to have the pet focus a lot of their time and attention on tanking any enemies that we fight, meaning that in turn, any enemies that we fight will focus their time and attention on our pet, meaning we can just sit back and shoot at them and take hopefully very little damage ourselves. And we just have to be careful about our pet's health and safety. Lightsaber here, which maybe I should go ahead and deal with you. Which, looking ahead to pets, I'm still not entirely sure which one I want. Where we can go ahead and probably just tame something in Teldrassil to start us off. And I'm thinking maybe a lightsaber, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. Got a Draenei Shaman over here in Teldrassil, where we can turn in this quest to the Moon Priestess, right outside Dolinar, which is such a nostalgic location for me. And we are now honored with Teldrassil, which is very exciting to see, where there are a lot of reputations in World of Warcraft that I'm always a big fan of reputations. I really like the reputation system and how you can get special rewards. Where for us, we can check here where we have these reputations with all the different alliance people of Teldrassil, of course, S being Night Elves. We start off with a bunch of reputation with them, but we also got Exodar with the Draenei, Gnomeregan Exiles with the Gnomes, Ironforge with the Dwarves, and Stormwind with the humans. And this can just be something that we pay a little bit of attention to. But getting reputation, especially with the alliance factions, is nice because we get discounts at vendors that are connected to each reputation. So for us, now that we're honored with Darnassus, we should be able to buy things from most Night Elf vendors for a little bit cheaper. And especially in the older versions of World of Warcraft, getting things at a discount is pretty important because money is definitely hard to come by. You can maybe do a big loop around the barrow dens here, where we can get these two things and then go up the western side into Darnassus. That sounds like a good idea to me. We've also gotten a little bit of a hint for potentially how long the Burning Crusade anniversary will last, and it's expected to be about 1 year. And what's going to happen to the Burning Crusade after the fact remains to be seen, because it seems like they will be announcing something in September related to all the different versions of World of Warcraft with the upcoming BlizzCon. Right here are the mobs that were the first mobs to ever kill me in World of Warcraft. I'm just gonna run straight past all of them pretty much. Kill the spider. I guess this is kind of a dangerous area for me to be in right now. There's a lot of mobs around here. And our inventory is still full. I do have my human mage, who I've now successfully have leveled up to level 55, which was my big goal before the pre-patch ended, just so I could get the tabard that he gets for defending the Dark Portal. But I still need to make some bags on that character. Okay, so skin this stalker, I suppose. Oh, our inventory is full. Maybe I should try to hold on to the leather. It's probably a smarter idea for us. But I'm not going to be able to skin many of them because I can't pick up their items. I'm going to get another item from this too. But despite not being able to get items, I will be getting some experience, which is nice. So let's come up to this strange fruited plant outside Gnarlpine Hold, and let's get rid of this spider leg so we can get this, looks like an apple, and we can go ahead and bring this back all the way over here to Denalin, or however you pronounce his name. But first let's come north here, where we can go ahead and interact with this file at the Moonwell, where there's that one up there. I think the stuff in the northern end might be something that we should wait to do until maybe after we go into the Barrow Dens, because while the Barrow Dens is lower level, it is kind of like the most difficult part of the map, but these areas are higher level, so just from like a numerical value, they're a bit more challenging in that sense, where we just need to be a little bit of a higher level. And I think that dynamic between these two areas is very interesting, because do you go to the area that is statistically more challenging first and then become stronger for this area, which is mechanically more challenging? Though, when I did play a hardcore character, I did die up here on a Night Elf Druid, with the caveat that I'd never even dared to go into this place. We might be able to reach level 9 before we even get to Darnassus, which might be good for us. It's a lot of damage on our part. We're 2 bars away, and there's just a ton of enemies all around here. Where Teldrassil is really just kind of like a natural area where there's not like too many night elven constructions around here. We got Dolinar, Starbreeze Village, and Shadowglen with Darnassus over here, and then a couple of interesting things just scattered all around, but nothing too substantive. Or I suppose there's a fair number of Furbolg and Grell stuff going on, but lots of wildlife, like these spiders and deer and sabers. I think we're like 1 or 2 more kills away from leveling up, which is a pretty big deal. And as we get to level 10 as well, not only will we be able to have a pet by our side, but we'll be able to start picking our talents as well. And that Night Saber despawned as I was attempting to skin it, which is unfortunate for us. Just run back here for a second. Get another couple of shots off. Or I will need to buy some more arrows soon. One more kill should do it. Lots of opportunities here. Getting more and more experience is always going to be nice. We are running low on mana, but as we level up, we'll get all of our mana back, which is going to be super nice. I somehow got an arrow off there. That's very nice. And there we go, level 9. You can also see our rested experience bonus, which we accumulate when we are logged off, and we accumulate a little bit no matter what, but we get a lot if we log out at an inn. And basically that just gives us twice as much experience from killing monsters. So it is particularly effective in this certain situation. But there is a limit, and halfway through our next level of killing monsters, we will see that we will have used up all the rested experience that we have gotten, but this will be pushed back as we complete quests and like explore areas. We're almost back to the road over here, but we can see the gates to Darnassus ahead of us. Maybe one more Night Saber Stalker kill. Can get to skinning level 22. And then we can head into the city through the front gates. You can see ancient protectors like we saw at Dolinar, and more sentinels like we've seen everywhere. And can enter the incredible city of Darnassus. Get a little bit of experience, and then enter trade chat, of course, which maybe for everyone's safety I'll switch over to the combat log. But I just love how this city looks so much. And of course there's a bunch of stuff around here for us, including a quest that we are coming here to do, and then we also got a couple quests to pick up. But over here we have that owl trainer that I was talking about, where we could buy some great horned owls and some hawk owls. And I think I'll sell the little bit of trash that I've gotten. And then, yeah, just not too much more space to work with. Maybe I'll throw the boggling root somewhere. No, I don't know. First things first, let's head over to the Cenarian Enclave. We have this fun building ahead of us here, which serves as the bank building in Darnassus. We the massive temple, the temple of the moon. I remember what things are called. I actually did. I just always need to double check because I never feel confident. So many buildings around here too. It does really feel like a city. Particularly in comparison to like the town of Dolinar, which has 3 buildings. But here we have our friend Aurelian Greenspire. This will help us continue our questing experience, where we need to get mossy tumors, which can be found over here, which maybe we can head towards. We have a couple of quests that we could also take a look at as well. A couple that I think I'll return to, including one that we can pick up over here, which this quest is going to lead us to this quest down here, but I think it's worthwhile to pick up just to get the 85 experience, and then statistically we will have completed 1 more quest than before.
Hello.
What an incredible sight to behold. You can see like the main districts: the Sonaran Enclave, Craftsman Terrace, Warriors Terrace, Tradesman Terrace, the Temple Gardens, and the Temple of the Moon, all being very distinct areas. But inside of the Temple of the Moon, you could explore around here a little bit. Where this is one of the most important moon wells, I believe, that I just ran through. A dwarf, a fellow member of the Alliance. And up this way, our quest person, a priestess Amora, or however you pronounce her name. Go ahead, turn in this quest, and then we will get a quest to bring peace to a being of nature in Teldrassil. But very quickly, if you run up here, you can see Tyrande Whisperwind, the leader of the Night Elves.
Ishnuala, may a loon light your path.
It's just always very fun to see her. And over the years of retail World of Warcraft, she has played a massive part in many different stories. But now that we have all of these quests and we can see everything we have in Teldrassil, I think next I'm going to run up here. I'm going to do Mossy Tumors. I'm going to try to do the Black Moss quest. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm going to try. And then we could try to get the Strange Fronded Plant. And this will have 4 quests for us to turn in back down here then. So we can go turn those 4 in. And then we'll get this quest, which is going to take us up here, which we will return to eventually. And then we have these quests that we have to become brave enough to deal with. But with these 4 quests, we should be able to get to level 10, and then we should be able to try to get a pet to help us out with the future adventures that we have. Some of these quests maybe I'll have to come back for, particularly the Black Moss quest, because that enemy is 3 levels higher than us, and I can try to be brave, but you never know. It might dodge a bunch of our arrows and then critically strike us for all of our health in one strike. And I suppose I should have looked for some arrows while we're here. There's general goods right here, actually, which might be what we need. I don't entirely remember where we need to go for arrows. Also see weapons over there. I don't think that's going to be super helpful. But here we go. Some rough arrows. Go ahead, just buy all of those. And then maybe I'll sell this tough jerky. And maybe the forest mushroom caps. I feel like I haven't been eating too much, but we can leave the Kaldori spider kebabs there for us. And maybe we could make a couple of leather things. We don't have a trades good person up here, right? I forgot what it said. Bag merchant. So we could buy a cheap bag if we really wanted. Which honestly, I'm going to send some gold to this character. So we could go ahead and just get this bag to help us out. I'll put the quiver all the way over here. I know a lot of people love bag add-ons and add-ons in general for a while, but I just kind of like the old natural stuff where I use Questy and I'll occasionally use other add-ons here and there. But out of Darnassus, I'm not sure how exactly I want to tackle these few quests. Maybe we'll go up north along this road and ignore the other stuff around here, but we can try to get to the Shimmering Frond and then we'll just work our way south. Try to get rid of these mushroom caps. And then maybe I'll put quest item up there. Should maybe eat these boggling roots during these quests. Put them there. Get a buff the last 10 minutes. I also ran past the road I need to take. Level 7 enemy, not too dangerous, but the further we go, we're going to see higher level enemies, like these level 9 ones. Probably going to see our first level 10 enemy, which I don't think we've seen a level 10 enemy at least. I might be misremembering. Elder Knight Saber, we got some harpies over there. Some would consider them an abomination to nature. And many others an important and natural part of nature. There's a lot of enemies right here, and I kind of just want to ignore them because we will return and fight these harpies soon enough. And as we head up this way, we can see a structure very similar to the bank building that we saw in Darnassus. But we have the Oracle Glade, and then we also have a moon well featuring a sentinel, who we are going to ignore for now, and also an enchanting trainer, which I'm not planning on learning enchanting, which I do really like the enchanting profession, but I also do not like it at the same time because it's so expensive. Not only in the sense that it costs like the same amount of money as many other professions, but you have to give up armor and weapons to disenchant them to get the goods you need in order to do enchanting, meaning that you lose out on the potential money that you would have gotten from said armor and weapons. But up this way, a strange fronded plant. There's a bunch of harpies around here, but we might be able to sneak right here. And then we got the Shimmering Frond there. And that is all we need to bring it back down this way. So that is one of our 3 quests that we want to do completed. Not too bad thus far. Can just respond to that person. And then let's keep an eye out for Black Moss the Fetid, and we can work on getting the Mossy Tumors. I think these enemies specifically is what I died to on that hardcore character that I was talking about earlier. Let's go ahead, kill this Elder Knight Saber. Kind of just blocking our way. Let's see some of the enemies we need ahead of us. The spider is also a little scary. But first things first is we should maybe look for black moss, but I do think he just goes all around here, and he might be a rare. I should maybe look this up. I can just do it in another tab while I kill this Mire Beast. Yes, he is indeed a rare enemy, and that's a little unfortunate for us, because I do definitely want to complete this quest just for the sense that, like, I'm a bit of a completionist, but we're already ignoring one of the quests in Teldrassil, so if we aren't able to get this quest, I think it'll be okay. And we'll still have 3 more quests that we can go turn in, but we can run along this entire area, look for him, and I'll try to remember like the main spots he spawns at. Now these Elder Timberlings down here who are much more powerful than the ones down that way. So I think we want to ignore these ones. I see a player over there. And I do not see the rare boss. So let's just work our way up this river, I suppose, as it's flowing off of the side of Teldrassil over there. We can just kill some of the Mire Beasts. And then I could also use my Hearthstone to get back to Dolinar. Maybe this will be a good time to use it after I get the mossy tumors that are necessary. Two for 2 right now, which is pretty good. And hopefully I don't regret speaking those words. Should maybe eat and drink here, and I need to remember to use the boggling root. Alright, use that. Can use the scroll of protection we got. Oh, maybe I should have saved that for when we go into the barrel dens. And I guess I didn't get a mossy tumor from that one immediately after I talked about it. So that doesn't bode well for us. I think a big part of the gameplay loop of World of Warcraft is just always drinking a ton of water and eating some food to restore your resources. Especially mana, I feel like, is a resource you often need a lot of. And I think that's 3 kills now without a mossy tumor, so I think I've definitely ruined everything. And I might not get another one until next episode. Oh, we got battle chain pants, as well as another mossy tumor, so that's good. But this should sell for a couple of silver, which will be nice for us. Some timberling tramplers around there. I think black moss the fetid only spawns in like the northern parts, so I think we might be too far south to try to have an opportunity to fight that boss, which is fine. When we return to this area, we could glance over here really quickly and see if he's there. But maybe also after we get one more mossy tumor, we could just run south a little bit and then hearth back to Dolinar, just to have another chance. I do think I've seen him spawn like right around here before. I love this little boat. This entire little area right here at Will Spring Lake. Kite the traveler back this way, because I started making my way back south, and we did indeed get a mossy tumor, so we don't have to worry about killing any more of them. But you know, experience is experience. What do you have? Oh, we need to return to Darnassus actually. So I guess we go back here and then we can go to Dolinar. So maybe that'll be an even better opportunity to use our Hearthstone. I suppose we should be running back towards Darnassus, but I just want to get a quick sneak peek at this area one more time, just to see. Again, this might just be a quest that we won't be able to complete, and I could spend a very long time just camping this area and working with other people maybe to try to get the kill, but in reality it is decently unlikely. So let's go ahead and run back to Darnassus once again. We're just taking the long way around, which of course, taking the long way in World of Warcraft is kind of the name of the game sometimes. Such a massive road with so much to explore. And I think Teldrassil is a fantastic example of that, because wherever we look in this map, it's just honestly stunning. It's a very, very beautiful map. And looking behind us one last time, I do not see the boss. So let's get back to the road over here, and then we can run south. As we journey, we could try to kill a few Night Sabers, get some of that bonus experience and skinning skill, or any other mob, but we'll lose out on the skinning opportunities, which I'm not sure what skill we need to be at before we leave Teldrassil. We might not have to worry about it at all, but as we go to higher level zones, you need to be a higher level rank in the different professions in order to capitalize upon the opportunities present in each of those zones. But as you look ahead to the second map available for the Night Elves, naturally, we have Darkshore, which I think we can be level 1 and everything and still get a lot of stuff in Darkshore. At least at the start of the map, of course. And just completely ignore that heartbeat and I can run away. But yeah, hearthing from Darnassus to Dolinar is probably the best usage of a Hearthstone, because it's the furthest you can kind of go away from Dolinar while still being inside of Teldrassil. Maybe technically down here in Ruthron Village, which is a location that we'll explore in the future. which allows us to travel to the rest of Kalimdor, and it's still in or on Teldrassil, but it's not like inside the main part of the map. And we access it via a magical portal in Darnassus. Back in Darnassus, switch this out again. I love hearing the Ancient Protector. The Ancient Protectors, of course, resembling the Ancients that you work with in Warcraft 3, where all the Night Elven stuff feels very similar to how it is in Warcraft 3 for the Night Elves. Which, of course, in Warcraft 3, you have the Night Elves as a faction to themselves, and then you also have the orcs and the humans and the undead. The undead primarily being the scourge part of the undead, and not really the Forsaken, as we see the undead as a playable race in World of Warcraft. Where when it comes to the orcs and the humans, they kind of resemble a lot of the Horde and the Alliance, where you see Tauren and Trolls working with the orcs, and you see High Elves and Dwarves working with the humans for the Alliance. And all of those factions evolve into how we see them in World of Warcraft, with the final events of Warcraft 3 taking place about 4 years before World of Warcraft begins. So really, really close. And now we can return down to the lake where we have these 3 quests to turn in, and we have this quest we can turn in as well. And we also got this pruning knife, which is twice as much damage per second as we currently have for when we're fighting in melee range. Where, let's go to a merchant really quickly, because I can sell the Fang, and I could sell these pants that we got. Or I could offer the pants to somebody, but a nice little boost of money there. Then we can also turn in the next step of this quest. Now we have the Amethyst File, which is going to take us up to the Oracle Glade. And now we have these 3 quests down here that we can go ahead and turn in. So looking back towards the Oracle Glade, we have the file quest that we can do, and then the quest with the Sentinel where we can go ahead and kill harpies, and then we have a special escort quest that we saw a little bit of a teaser to earlier. And then we have this quest where we need to fight this very special spider, and then we can also check the Black Moss, the fetid rare spawn location again, just in case he spawns, but absolutely no guarantee there. And then we have these 2 quests in the center of the map that I think I will do before heading back up here, which all that will be to finish the map and kill some of these timberlings. But we still have a couple of other things to do as well, especially since we are getting pretty close to level 10, which is such an exciting milestone to reach. But as we turn in these quests, we might get those boglings again that we'll have to defeat. I think we'll also get some other stuff here too. So maybe let's back up for just a second. See what spawns. Okay, we got the Sprouted Frond. So we can go ahead and pick up these. And we get this, which will heal your target for 76 to 91. So we just got like a bonus healing potion there, which is very nice. And upon turning that quest in, we have now successfully reached level 10. But here I think we're going to get the Boglings. Another player way over there. So I tried to attack the Boggins in advance, but it did not work out too well for me. So we can go ahead, just use our knife. They don't deal too much damage, and they're also very low level. But we will be able to get 3 more Boggin roots, which is going to be fantastic, I suppose, if we really care about it. But I think we've killed like 3 sets of Boggins now. And now we can go ahead and get the Gargantuan Tumor from Oakenscow, which is a boss located over here. And we can now do the Taming the Beast quest, which I could go do, but I think really quickly this fight shouldn't be too difficult, and since we're down here we can go ahead and take a look at that. And as we run over there, we can get our first sneak peek at talents. Whereas a hunter, we have Beast Mastery, Marksmanship, and Survival. Survival being a very interesting talent tree, where you get some melee stuff and some unique like stings here that we see. I think there's like a unique shot or something. But at the end we get, when activated, this ability immediately finishes the cooldown of your other hunter abilities. Reverend Sting being a very powerful thing that you get that puts enemies to sleep. But Marksmanship is a really like damage centric, weapon centric talent tree, where we can really buff up our weapons and get a ton of stuff like Silencing Shot, which will silence enemies, and True Shot Aura being a very necessary part of like in-game content in the older versions of World of Warcraft, I believe. Not too experienced. And then Beast Mastery being something that really focuses on making your beasts stronger, which I've been thinking a lot about which one I want to do in particular. And I'm thinking I might want to go Beast Mastery, especially since I think it's supposed to be pretty good in the Burning Crusade. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's supposed to be pretty good. So we can get stuff like the Beast Within, where your pet is under the effects of Bestial Wrath. You also go into a rage where you deal more damage. Bestial Wrath, where you send your pet into a rage, causing 50% additional damage, which is pretty good. But lots of other stuff too. And of course it's not all for our pets. It gets some stuff like Improved Aspect of the Hawk, which all normal ranged attacks have a 10% chance of increasing ranged attack speed by 3% for 12 seconds. But we could also get Endurance Training, increases the health of your pet by 2% and your total health by 1%. Now, when we look at talents in World of Warcraft, there are a few different ways that you could go about things. Where the first way is really just focusing on the idea of like what's the best option to take statistically and like meta-wise agreed upon by the community. We could go ahead and try to create a build like that. But since I'm really focused on kind of just playing by myself out in the open world and having like my own fun in my own way, we can go ahead and take a second option that I like to do, which is basically combining two ideas together. One is just the idea of doing what I feel like, so I could just pick whichever talent that I want that I kind of feel like. Where the second aspect combined into this is also the idea of trying to come up with like my own unique cohesive build that isn't necessarily like the meta build, but a build that I think would do decently well. And if I want to really focus on Beast Mastery, at least to get towards like the Beast Within, and then maybe we could do some stuff in Marksmanship, we can go ahead and focus on Beast Mastery for the most part at first. So we have Improved Aspect of the Hawk, which is going to increase our damage basically, and Endurance Training, which is basically going to increase our defense. And between the two, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't really know which one I want. And I think based on that, maybe I just go with my gut instinct and I get Endurance Training. And I can presume that basically this is going to be the better option like 99 out of 100 times, just because you don't really need defenses in order to deal as much damage as possible, which is many people's primary goal. Alright, we have to wait a second. I'm going to try to kill another Timberling while we think here. But I think Endurance Training might just be more fun, might be a little bit more relaxing. So we can go ahead and take this, where our health went up by 2 points. And of course, that would be a little bit more dramatic in the future. Let's turn in this quest. Let's get the more expensive one. And that's the last thing that we needed there. So, we'll focus on this, and then in the future, all damage caused by use increased by 1% while your pet is active, and the critical strike chance of your kill command ability is increased by 10%. That's a good damage dealing option, similar to this, that maybe we could take that and we can balance out our defenses and attacks. Where the dodge bonus of Aspect of the Monkey I don't think is worthwhile. Armor rating of your pets and yourself increased, so kind of like this, but I really like having a lot of health, so maybe this one's not too important. But improved revive pet. Revive pet's casting time is reduced by 3 seconds. Mana cost is reduced by 20%. I don't really care about that. So when we look at this, we could go for thick hide and focused fire maybe, or we could do focused fire and like 3 points into aspect of the hawk maybe. Many options. Where let's go over here. And we can chat with the hunter trainer. First, we can check the training itself, where we get aspect of the hawk, a new rank of serpent sting, and track humanoids. Why not? Where if we come into here, we can see this, where this just increases our ranged attack damage. And then new serpent sting is always nice. And then track humanoids, which we also get up here, so I won't put it onto my skill bar, but only important in certain circumstances. But now we can learn how to tame a pet, where we can go ahead and use the taming rod to tame a webwood lurker, which are located all around here. But we can go ahead and begin taming this pet, and this is going to show us how to tame a pet in general. So let's run over this way, and we basically click on this, and we have to live long enough in order to successfully tame the lurker. Hopefully it doesn't get attacked by any of the guards, because I pulled it kind of close to Dolnar, but it takes, like, how long is this? 15 seconds maybe? So you need to make sure you have enough health in order to successfully complete this. Maybe it's 20 seconds. But as we tame the webwood lurker, we can see it will begin, presumably, following us around. Maybe I need to tell it to come. Or maybe it's just going to sit there. Anyways, we also get this action bar, which shows the abilities that we have with the spider, which we don't have any specifically, but also allows us to control it in better ways. Now we can do a Night Saber Stalker, which is going to take us pretty far away from Dolinar. A Night Saber is an option that I have been thinking about as being potentially a good option for us. But we can also tame pretty much any basic beast in the game, which I think with Beast Mastery, there might be a talent that we pick which will allow us to tame special beasts, or maybe that's something in a different version of the game. I have a lot to learn about Beast Mastery. Maybe we can just do it straight up no matter what in the Burning Crusade. But we can look for fancy stuff in the future. But we could tame, like we just did, a spider. Or like what we're about to do, we could tame a Night Saber. Or an owl is another option. Outside of those three, I'm kind of blanking on what exactly there is in Teldrassil for us to tame. But as we look ahead to maps like Darkshore, we'll have more and more options. Like in Darkshore specifically, there are bears we could tame alongside Plainstriders that are basically like Moa if you are a Gilgrishu player. Here's a Night Saber Stalker. So we have this taming rod. Can run up this way, get close enough, and start taming. The Stalker starts off not really enjoying this entire situation, but I guess I should have checked. Yeah, it's actually like 20 seconds, I think, not 15 seconds. But after 20 seconds, we will have successfully done this. And there we go. Now we just have to run all the way back to Dolinar. And this is kind of just a... Oh, it's not following me either. That's so weird. But I completed the quest, so that's all I need. Hopefully it's just like the quest that's bugged. And hopefully when we tame an actual pet, like fully, it'll be fine. But running back and forth is kind of just a big part of World of Warcraft, where, especially in the older versions of World of Warcraft, where it takes longer, it just slows down the game a little bit. So in one sense, it takes longer to play through the game, so then you keep subscribing to World of Warcraft because you need more time in order to play through the game. But it also makes you feel a little bit more connected to the world in many ways. Also, with lightsabers, we have a couple of different types of lightsabers that look just ever so slightly different. And I kind of like these ones more. Oh, we also have boars we could tame in Shadowglen. I forgot about them. You know, the boar is actually kind of not a bad option. Maybe I want a boar, but I'm also thinking a lightsaber would be fun. A lightsaber is kind of like the big damage dealing one that we could get. There's a dead lightsaber stalker here, which is very interesting. Hopefully that wasn't mine that just like appeared here randomly.
What brings you here?
But now we can tame a Strigid Screecher. We need to run really far west, but it should be along the road here. So just running west along the road should be good. And then we can run east back into Dolinar. So let's go ahead, open another tab, and we can look up maybe some special pets, where we do get new pets with the Burning Crusade 2 on top of all the pets that we have out in the world, where there are so many. But we could tame, let's take a look at boars, and let's take a look at cats, because there are some like statistical differences where the boars are defensive pets where they have more armor and health but do deal less damage, or they get some special abilities, whereas the cats are offensive pets where they deal high damage but have lower armor or health. So I guess those are kind of like the two options that I've gotten to. Cats will have bite and claw, dash, cower, and growl, which is good. Which boars also get a charge ability, whereas cats get prowl, where they enter a stealth mode, which is kind of fun. And maybe we could utilize the stealth mode with our shadow build, so then we could both be in stealth. That kind of sounds fun for maybe really random circumstances. Here we have our Strigid Screecher. Alright, let's get close enough to use this. I guess since I have this open, let's also pull up owls. Which owls can only eat meat, so that might be an inconvenient option for us. And then also look for a spider, which can also only eat meat, where spiders are offensive pets, and I think we can teach the spider to like root down enemies. And owls are also offensive pets, but have some very special abilities like Screech, where it reduces melee attack power. I think the pet became aggressive to me. I wasn't paying too much attention to what was going on. We're out of combat now though, but we can go ahead, run this way, turn in this quest, and then I think this is everything that we need in order to get all of the pet training options. Where you can tame beast, call pet, and dismiss pet. So I think typically I tend to tame like a boar or a bear. So for like my own personal experience, maybe if I want to mix things up a little bit, I should go with the cat. So I was really stuck between the two, but maybe that's the the thing that is the decider, is that I can switch things up a little bit. I think when I played a hunter on my other channel, I tamed a plain strider. So this is very different than that, I suppose. But back in Dolinar, we're already like almost halfway to level 11 just from these adventures. But we can go speak with Dazalar and finally turn in this quest. And then we can go to the Snaran Enclave in order to get a training lesson. So let's go ahead and maybe go that way. We can also check with the pet trainer here, where we can tame some or learn some stuff to help out our pet. But we can also just go into Beastmaster really quickly, throw a tame pet there, could put call pet and dismiss pet there. And then I do have some stuff I could feed our pet. Should maybe give more. But let's go and tame a Night Saber, and between the two options that we have, maybe I want to tame this type of Night Saber. Level 6, start a little bit higher than that level 5 one. Let's run here, start taming. And this one is for real, where the last 3 was just a practice run. But this one is incredibly important for us, because this might be our friend that hangs out with us for a very long time. And there we go. And it is successfully hanging out with us. And where currently this cat is very, very unhappy, and we need to get to Teldrassil. So maybe I should have waited a little bit before taming. Hopefully, I think the cats do have the opportunity, or any pet, to run off. Loyalty level 1, rebellious, where as we spend time with this pet and train it a little bit and feed it, our bond will grow and they won't run away. And I guess before we name this cat, let's go ahead and just get to Teldrassil first, where with this quest I'll get training lesson, where we will get beast training, feed pet, and revive pet. Revive pet being really important so we can get our pet back should the pet ever die. And then maybe we can end our adventures in Teldrassil, and we can head down here at the start of next episode, and then spend some time up here later on. I suppose it's good to also remember, since it's been a while since I played a Night Elf Hunter, that the Hunter Trainer in Teldrassil is located in the Cenarian Enclave, where different trainers are located in different areas. Warrior trainers, like in the Warrior's Terrace, I believe. Where I did recently play a Night Elf Warrior, and by recently, that was like 3 or 4 years ago, so I guess not too recent. But in the grand scheme of how long it takes to level up a character, I guess it's not too long ago. Back to the gates of Teldrassil. I really hope this pet doesn't run off on me. And let's check the diet of the pets. So diet, meat and fish. So a little bit inconvenient compared to some other types of pets. But largely we can just keep some meat or I suppose fish in our bags. Also this PvP tab that's showing up, which we have not done any PvP. Our reputation with everybody's gone up a little bit, but especially with Darnassus. And we also have Nessa Shadow Song, which I think is a quest located taking us to Ruthron. Yes, indeed it is. So I just have that in my quest log now, and this will eventually take us to Oberdine. This will also be teaching us about flight paths, which basically give us checkpoints around the world that we can fly to from any other flight path on the continent. Feeding our pet is also kind of just a nice way to clean up our inventory sometimes. If you get like random pieces of meat, we can just give that to our pet. We do lose out on the potential money or other uses for that meat. But there's a food and drink vendor right here. Wish I do not see any meat or fish. At least none that I think count, but maybe some of those count. Here we have our hunter trainer training the beast, and we can get our training lesson where we can now feed pet. Let's feed our pet. We have the spider kebabs and just try to make him a little bit happier. And then let's try to find some meat that we can keep. Our pet's also gaining happiness as we do this. And we can put feed pet down here. Probably never want to dismiss our pet. We probably won't tame another beast for a long time. But we can keep call pet in case our pet like disappears for whatever reason. And then we can feed pet and revive pets. And what else did we learn? If we go all the way back up here, we also get beast training, which I think is just in the other. Let's go bar. So let's come here really quickly. Got some random things, but this is all fruit. Let's check. Oh, I think I might know where a fishing vendor is. So let's run this way really quickly. Keep an eye out for any other potential vendors. Our pet's unhappy again. Maybe we can go ahead and just feed the pet this last spider kebab, which maybe is not a good use of the spider kebab, but I think it's fine. And also get a bunch of items ready to sell the next time we're at a vendor. Yep, here is a warrior trainer in the warrior stairs. Cannot feed a mushroom, we could try, but our pet doesn't like that food. But I think over here is a fishing individual. We can jump down here. Our cat jumped before us technically. Where we have a fishing trainer, but maybe not a vendor. Oh, fish vendor. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. So let's buy the more or I guess it's not more expensive. Why is it cheaper but better? Let's go ahead and buy this because we can eat this too. And then we can throw this on our hotbar there, and our pet is now happy. Let's sell all this. Just clean up everything. And let's feed one more fish just for good measure. Where our pet is happy, which is great, and we can start hanging out with our pet in the future, where we have this pet training here. And I think we're supposed to maybe have another action bar button, or maybe it's in the future, but we can go ahead and look at all of that more next episode, where I really hope you all enjoyed watching this episode of my World of Warcraft Let's Play series, and I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time in the World of Azeroth. Goodbye.